So this journey is going to be slightly different. I'm not really going to talk about our journey as much as I'm going to try to say motivate a few students here to start on their own. And this might be some sort of a rosy picture which is coming out, but I hope I don't I mean, of course, it comes with caveats. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, Apur, please go ahead. Yeah, it's clear.
Great. So we are LazyCo, a company started in 2017 with such a cool name. Why we say we are LazyCo is because we are a team of engineer turned product designers, creating the easiest or the fastest ways to get things done. We wanted to give it a better name. We started off with creating products which are the most efficient solutions to day-to-day problems. But keeping a company's name efficiency is not really 2020, so we stated a name called LazyCo. And of course, we have some background in marketing, so we want to have a name which sort of sticks to your mind. So we are LazyCo. We design the laziest ways to get things done. About me, I did my bachelor's in instrumentation engineering from JSS Noida. Some of you might know about that college. And therein, in that college, I just learned about some sensor networks and learned how to build robots. The coursework was nothing. I mean, I probably learned nothing from the course, but from the embedded systems course and other things, the co-curricular activities, that was wherein I learned how to organize events. I learned what I'm probably good at and what I want to do in my life. Throughout, from the generationally, I have been the person who went into engineering because my dad told me that this is the right thing for you. And post engineering, I figured out, okay, probably this is what I wanted to do. And I found out about this course called product design, which happened to be the area which I want to work in throughout my life, wherein we were, made to learn about how to develop a product from scratch to manufacturing and to launch a product. During this time, between this gap of 2014 to 2015, wherein I was preparing for my master's exam, I started developing a product which we are supposed to create portfolios to enter into these design programs. And I started off with a problem statement of women's safety because I was in Noida and that was the hottest topic at that time, hottest or the saddest topic, whatever you call it. And I wanted to create a product to solve this problem of women's safety. And started out by researching what all products are out there in the market who can, which can help a woman in distress. And started out with figuring out how the human body works, what is the easiest motion the human body can perform, and eventually figured out this motion of swiping the thumb over the index finger is one of the easiest motion or the laziest motion the human body can perform, which can be reliably captured. That's why the ring form factor sort of came in to being, and how it evolved I get to later. Then I went to do my master's in product design. I knew that I have to start a company. I took all the right courses, explored all these departments at IISc, got into research in human machine interfaces, worked on EEG caps. EEG caps are basically brain computer interfaces through which we are reading brain signals, and try to figure out what is try to learn more about the human body, because whatever you're making, eventually a human has to use it, right? And that's the common thing which we all have in us. So coming from a engineering perspective to a college which focuses on tech and having a design course there, that was, I think, which I and my whole team has what is unique in us. And that's why we are creating such products which change the way we interact with devices. So the broad area which we work in is called human machine interaction. The first human machine interfaces were the keyboards, and when the mouse came in the 1980s, it completely redefined the way we interact with computers. It paved way for graphical user interfaces. The keyboards were still there, but the mouse made it so easy to use a computer that even kids were able to use it. Right? Probably mouse was one of the biggest inventions of the last century. And then with the launch of the first iPhone, which was the first smartphone with a proper touchscreen which you can use with your fingers, it completely redefined human machine interaction again. Right? But now 13 years have passed. We are so used to smartphone touchscreens that we can't dissociate a smartphone and a touchscreen. But these are two different things. We try to reimagine the way we interact with smartphones. we were also, sort of fed up of all the designers, all the design knowledge and people around us going for UX jobs all over the place. I mean, India is a software hub. It's more popular for software and such web application sort of startups. And every designer was wanting to go to UX because that's where all the money was, right? We would create different apps and other things like that. We wanted to stick to product design, hardware design. We wanted to reimagine the way smartphones are used because, if you look at it, the tangible lives which we live in today are running way in history if we compare with what we see in the smartphone. The smartphone is way ahead in the future, and our lives outside the smartphone is just historic. So we wanted to reimagine the way we interact with day-to-day digital tasks. For example, suppose, for controlling I mean, we already just spoke about, Jeevan spoke about what they've done in the smart home space, but I'll also like to give an example of, suppose you are booking a cab every single day to office, which a lot of people do before the lockdown. You have to take your phone out for this, unlock your phone, find the Uber app, go to the right shortcut wherein you have to locate your location, and then get to that right shortcut saying press a button to book a cab. It takes a good 15 to 20 seconds to do that. Now we do that every single day, and we do that with not just booking cabs. We do it with making payments. We do it with controlling smartphone. We do it with a lot of things which we do on a daily basis, because 80% of our daily tasks are being handled by the smartphone today, and we're just wasting this time. What we are creating is a device that predicts what you need next and shows you the right shot at the right time, giving you the easiest way to handle that task. That's Aina, the world's first universal AI remote control in the form of an elegant ring that knows what you want. Now, I'd like to show you the whole a launch video, which just encompasses what Aina is, and I won't get into a lot of details.
Yeah, music.
Yeah, man. Goddamn, it's damn clear. I didn't expect it to be this clear.
Place your hand like that, just like this.
And I can hear music.
On and off, is that?
Yeah. And the light turns on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very cool.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Holy shit, that's really cool, man.
That's how this works.
Incredible. I feel like James Bond.
Hello.
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 Remind me to pick up Alex 9.
Slideshow mode.
That's the launch video of Aina, which we did a crowdfunding campaign last year, and this is what we had launched. Of course, we made a lot of noise. The biggest tech review channel called Unbox Therapy also reached out to us. Of course, we got featured at a lot of places, and a lot of excitement has always created around wearables. these are a few places which we got covered on. We got covered by Variable. We got an interview with TechCrunch. We were featured by HD. Yanko Design called this device the future of wearables. We've been awarded by Qualcomm, Asia Hardware Battle, Elevate NASCOM, multiple other things, and we were a part of Qualcomm's accelerator as well. And this product itself is very different from other wearables out there, and there's a reason for it. We haven't gone to such micro level of electronics yet, and it's taken us a long time to actually figure things out the right way. I won't get to how the product works, but this is what sort of keeps us motivated. People who look at the product, who have seen our demos, call this the best tech invention ever, right? They call it the future of wearables. They compare this with the iPhone. And I'm sure since few of you must be from Kerala, we met Kavita Nair, who is an actress there, and she loved the product. She loved only the SOS part of the product. She said that I'd probably buy this only with the timepiece and the SOS feature. That's good enough for me. And so this device is not, we are not selling out a lot of features, but we are trying to reimagine the way things work, reimagine the way you use your phones. When you imagine future human beings, you don't look, you don't see them looking at their phone, swiping up, down, left, right all the time, right? So we want to move to that future. And of course, coming from this part of the country, coming from Bangalore and coming from India, there has been a few challenges around this product because we tried to focus on a few use cases which are more relevant in the Western market. And there has been some disconnect there, but we still managed to get through this. Now, going forward, I just like to talk to you about why you need to start your company today. That's basically our journey. We probably get to some questions later, but there's a very big reason, very good reason why you need to start your startup today. It has become easier than ever before. India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. The current median age and founder entrepreneurs is at 31 years. You are still in college. Most of you are still in college. Right? You have a long way to go. And of course, this is very it depends on person to person how much risk they can take. I would of course advise you to probably take a job and have your family settled if you have that that as a liability at this point of time. And everyone has their own time. You can choose to start up on your own whenever you feel comfortable, right? But this is probably the best time for you. You have of course, you are from a good college, you would probably get placed eventually, right? Even if you try to take that risk. Kerala, of course, is a great ecosystem as well. A lot of hardware startups are coming from Kerala. We've seen, I think, the first ring which had come out of the whole world, which the first smart ring we can say was probably from a company in Kerala. It was called Fin. The biggest VCs are in India. India is on the radar of the startup these sharks from the startup world. Sequoia, Accel Partners, Tiger Global, all have invested in Indian companies, all have offices set up in India. This is a big difference when we compare with different geographies around the world. If you were probably in some other country, you might not have access to such bigger players. And the best part is that India is still a developing country. We are still full of problems, and you just move around with your day-to-day life and you'll find 10 problems to work around wherein the solutions are not yet made. You currently have the power to change what is wrong, and based on the credentials which you already have, you are probably you are learning from one of the best institutes in the world, right? Or at least in India. If you don't change what is supposed to change, someone else probably less skilled than you will, and you'll finally realize, I probably had this idea, I did not work around it, right? And you probably have to live with that sort of a bad solution throughout your life. These are a few big quotes from bigger startup entrepreneurs. Of course, we won't even consider this a startup now, but very rightly Jeff Bezos said, I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew that one thing I might regret is not trying. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. That's what Mark Zuckerberg said. And the other important part of creating a company, see, you can find different businesses, you can find different ways to make money, but you should try to stick to what you love, what you are really passionate about. Steve Jobs was, of course, passionate about creating these, super user-friendly products, and he created a whole brand out of it. Apple is now the, synonym for good design. So the only way to do great work is to do what you love. Now, if that was not enough motivation for you, there's another thing. Uber, started in 2009, 2010, and by 2015, it was a $68 billion company. I'm taking an Uber example because everyone knows about Uber. And the CEO of Uber, the founder of Uber, his net worth was $6.3 billion by that time, after raising, of course, a lot of funds. Now, we don't imagine this enough, but $6.3 billion US is worth 22,000 Lamborghinis. I hope that was enough motivation for you to, try to do something of your own, because working in a corporate might not give you this opportunity. And even if you feel doesn't matter, you still have the credentials to back it up. The only advice I have for you today is start noticing problem around you today so you can start tomorrow. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Apurv, thank you so much.
If there are any questions.
Unfortunately, we don't have time for the questions. We need to move on. But Apurv, thank you so much. And I saw recently that you were also now featured in TechCrunch, right? I'm sure it's a big achievement, and I will also think that there's so many achievements in your way. I didn't know that that you are so successful with this product, and I think actually I haven't seen any product like this. It's amazing. I think it will be, especially the SOS. I think there's a huge market, especially in India. And good luck, man. Good luck with that. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Cool. Apurv will, maybe if you're around, people can communicate in the chat.